Hi everyone, I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and this is the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, the music podcast on where I interview singers and musicians from genres of black music, gospel, jazz, blues, old school classic soul, old school hip hop, today's hip hop and R&B, Caribbean, Latin, Afrobeat, Afro-Latina, blue-eyed soul, disco, go-go, line dances, and the Lost 45s. So come with me as I take you on to a trip to the destination genre of black music right now on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Legal Shield is a proud sponsor of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Have you been involved in any types of accidents? Have you been a victim of identity theft? Have you been a victim of a computer fraud scam? Have you been in disputes with your tenants or landlords? If your loved one dies and they didn't write up a will for you or for your family, or you and your spouse are filing for divorce, or if you need help by opening up your small business, give Legal Shield a try. Visit their website at LegalShield.com and tell them you heard it here on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Do it today. You'll be glad you did. Welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and I have a special guest on my show, and we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. This lady that I'm about to introduce is a singer, songwriter, producer, and author. She is the founder and CEO of E-Star Entertainment Productions, and she's the author of the book called Chill Room Havana, which is based on the song. Her sophisticated lyrics has a superb blend of Latin jazz with a mixture of R&B and pop. So please help me welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elisa Gomez Taylor. Hi, Elisa.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, and thank you, Samuel, for inviting me to your fantastic podcast. I feel very honored. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so hello to your listeners too.
Okay, so I just wanted to get the names right because sometimes they'll say Elisa, sometimes they'll say the other way around. You know, Eliza, Elisa, anything. But I'm learning, so.
Oh, you're all good.
Okay. And as always, America doesn't know who you are. The world doesn't know who you are. So I'm very fortunate to interview you on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast.
Amazing. This is an amazing podcast. I've been listening to your podcast since the first time we had spoken. So, I honor the stuff that you're doing and what you're covering and so forth. It's a lot of good history, and we need that.
Yes, thank you so much for the compliment. Alrighty. So let us begin, shall we? Now, where were you born?
I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, Dayton, Ohio. Okay.
It's considered Funktown.
Yes, I think it's the home of the Ohio Players, correct?
Absolutely, yes, yeah. A lot of some of the musicians, yes. It's a town where a lot of funk players and R&B players have come out of. You probably heard of Horizon, Slave, Lakeside. There's so many groups that have come out of there. And I grew up with a lot of those folks. Even I didn't grow up with the Troutmans, but I knew who they were, and I used to go see Roger Troutman play all the time. Last time I saw him play was at Jilly's, downtown Dayton, and he was standing on one of the tall tables, playing the guitar with his teeth and then behind his head. He was just, one of those phenomenal musicians on the planet,
Yes.
So I had an opportunity to meet and get to know some of the musicians and play with some of them.
Wow. Now, were your parents or any of your family relatives in the music industry, or that they had 9-to-5 day jobs?
My father worked for the government, but he also had a jazz salon, I call it. And he and his buddies, educators, the mayor, and people that work in engineering, and folks that live in the neighborhood, they would come down to the basement to his jazz salon, and they would talk about audio equipment, and he would play, his jazz music, and they would all be sipping on Jack Daniels. So my dad played upright bass. He played in the Navy, and he would just fiddle around with it at home. He didn't take it out at home, but he managed my brother's band. My oldest brother, Billy Taylor, he had a band, and one of my older brothers played in it for He played keyboards, and I would sing. We had a couple other singers. So, he had an affinity for music, and that's pretty much how I caught on to it. And then my mother also had her music, Benny Murray, traditional Cuban music. I also was listening to as a youngster.
Now, which high school did you go to?
Oh, you're getting personal now. I went to CJ, Chaminade Julienne, in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay. And which college did you go to?
I went to Wright State University, which is known for, working with NASA, and they also have an excellent medical program, neither of which I was in. I studied communications and graduated there with a bachelor's degree.
So communications was your major in college?
It was my major, and I minored in business, and I studied a lot of music courses there as well. Mm-hmm.
Now, who did you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted to be me and a singer. Yeah, I mean, I envisioned myself singing as a youngster, and I had, different kind of role models, folks that probably had already passed away, but still, folks that I really admired their singing, their phrasings, and their style. And I was listening to a lot of jazz, of course, when I was very, very young, just by nature of my father, always playing the music, particularly on the weekends, and having his salon. I would just go down there and bring food to he and his friends, right? So, I had an idea of, what they were doing, and like I said, talking about audio equipment. So, I was aspiring to be a singer, to be me. Mm-hmm.
And how old were you started singing and writing songs?
I was very young, and I was singing with my brother's band when I was a teenager, and we would perform on riverboats and colleges and schools, in the backyards.
Was being a singer and songwriter your calling?
Apparently so. I've never stopped. I've been doing it forever. So it was one of my callings, certainly one of my callings. I've done other things in my life, but this is something that I will continue to do until, something stops me, and I don't foresee that anytime soon.
Now, growing up, who were some of your favorite singers and songwriters?
Well, growing up, I still do, love listening to Sarah Vaughan. She was one of my favorites. And I love Ella, love Billy, Anita O'Day. And I had the opportunity to meet Anita O'Day when I first moved to California in the early 2000s. And she was already in her 80s, and she was performing at the Atlas on Wilshire. And she had a 5-piece band up on this big stage. She was fantastic. I knew who she was. And so I was invited by some friends. So I was very excited to go and listen to her. And I met her afterwards. We took a photo together. And she was just very kind, very, very sweet lady. And I listened to a lot of the jazz singers when I was very young. And I also listened to R&B favorites, Chaka Khan, Aretha Franklin. I love Carole King. I was exposed to a variety of music when I was growing up. And fortunately, and learning a lot of those songs too, whether I sung them out with a band or if I was just singing them at home. Excuse me. So I excuse me, I don't have a favorite. If you're looking for that, I don't have a favorite. I have a lot of folks that I really like, and I've heard some incredible voices and styles from my travels. People that, you know, are not famous or, you know, may play in the street. I play in clubs in different countries, and their styles and their phrasings and the beauty of their music is just phenomenal, you know. So I feel fortunate that I can hear from other people that might just be a special thing because it's like in the moment, and I mean, I never see them again, never hear their records, you know, on the radio, but it's just like I had that moment to experience something really special from another artist, if that makes sense.
And who were your musical influences that had inspired you to sing?
Inspired me. You know, again, you know, it's Chaka Khan, Minnie Riperton, loved her, Denise Williams. I loved, gosh, there was just so many. Also, some of my inspirations might be, you know, somebody like Dulce Pontes. Okay, who is she? Dulce Pontes. I actually met her after her concert in Carnegie Hall. She's a fado singer, F-A-D-O. And I was introduced to her music, fell in love with it, and I just happened to be in New York. And I walked past the kiosk and it said, Dulce Pontes singing tonight at Carnegie Hall. I said, oh, I think I need to change my ticket because I need to come to this concert. And I was very fortunate. I met her afterwards, took some pictures with her and chatted with her. So she's still an inspiration, even though I don't sing fado music. I love her music. And some of her songs, Sarah Brightman, who I also love, sings those songs as well. So Dulce Pontes, she sings in Portuguese, and Sarah Brightman sings the same song in English. And I think they have two different kind of meanings too to the song, but it's, you know, you can tell by the melody it's the same song. Absolutely beautiful. So I you know, I get my inspiration from fresh type of music that's something I've never heard before, if you will, and I enjoy that.
Now, you started singing in your brother's band. What was the name of your brother's band?
The Billy Taylor Band.
Okay. And as a singer, singing genres of music, how does your singing matches those genres of music?
I'm not sure if it's even a match. A match would be the word. It's not matching genres. Some singers can sing in different genres. And the reason is they venture to. And there are some singers that stay just right here. So I'm more vast because of my exposure to music as a young child. You know, Latin music, jazz music, R&B, pop music as a youngster, and singing all those kinds of music. So yeah, I don't fit into genres, so to speak, or how do I fit? It doesn't work that way for me. I just sing, here's a song. It could be a country song. I have to figure out how I'm going to be phrasing that country song. But it's like, give me a song, and depending on what it is, I'll make something out of it. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Now, you're the founder and CEO of E-Star Entertainment Productions. How many years your production company was in existence?
I've had a music company probably for a very long time, but I had changed the name of it a couple of years ago to E-Star Entertainment Productions, but I've always had a company.
And you are the band leader and founder of the E-Star Band. How many years have your band was in existence?
Well, again, I've had a company for music company for a very long time. I've worked with various bands as a band leader, or I would hire someone to, as you know, a musician and have them be the band leader. But for many years, I was a band leader. I would put the charts together. I would have charts made, put the set list together, put the rehearsals together, put the program together, especially if it's corporate, you know, convention music or something, private events and so forth. I would put all that together for the musicians so they would be prepared and pay them afterwards, just like running a company.
Okay. Now, you and your band have toured and did gigs with so many events. Which event did you perform and you have received a standing ovation?
That's kind of a strange question. Well, if they're already standing and they clap afterwards, which are a lot of them, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's, you know, when we think about, example, like Carnegie Hall or Walt Disney, Disney Hall or something like that, and a performer gives their last song, people stand up and clap and so forth. You know, a lot of my performances have been corporate, private, hotels, clubs, etc. So just the fact that people enjoy the music and they clap afterwards, or they start singing along, that is a recognition that they're paying attention and they're having fun, they're engaged. So I think that's more of the meter, unless we're talking about those other type of venues where people stand up and give you, you know, ovation afterwards. However, some of them, I can't really tell you off the top of my head through the years, but I know traveling with, for example, the Platters, wherever we went, people would stand up. If they're sitting down, they would stand up and applause afterwards. And if they're already standing up, they would just stand there and applause for a good while. But I'm sure it has happened in the past, but it's just nothing I've actually just really thought of.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your new LP called Samba Ecstasy, which includes the song that I did in the intro, Chill Room Havana. Please share with our audience on what your album is about.
Okay, actually, that's the Lava Man album, and I have Samba, one of the songs on there, Samba Ecstasy. And Lava Man is a Brazilian flair, if you will. It's like a little bit of Latin jazz, but with a soft tone of Brazilian flair to it. By nature, because my producer was Sanju Albert, who's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we wrote the album together. Chill Room Havana, I wrote a few years ago, and so that's more recent, the Chill Room Havana. And I wrote the lyrics in 10 minutes. I was thinking about my mother, even though she was from Guantanamo, not Havana. But Havana just has a good ring to it. So, so I wrote that song, you know, thinking about her, thinking about my mom. And then a couple years later, the book came, Chill Room Havana. I was pulling together my poetry from over 30 years ago and 10 years ago, and then also recently, early last year, I was writing poetry for the book, just more stories. You know, I have 63 short rhythmic stories. Personal stories, very fun, engaging stories, just something that just kind of enraptures people's minds and make them ponder or say, oh, really? You know, stuff about family. So that tied in with it. So when I was thinking about the poetry book, I said, wow, that name goes with it because I'm talking about my family. And my mom, it was a tribute to my mom, the book, poetry book. So it just went well with it, I thought.
Now, is all of your albums is like a kind of mixture of R&B with Latin jazz and pop? like your previous LPs?
So Maui Dream is my first album, and that is more of a kind of like a Latin jazz, but more on the jazz side, kind of like smooth R&B with a soft hint of Latin in it. And the Lava Man has a more of a Brazilian flair to it, and but they all have the elements of like a smooth Latin jazz. And then the third album, I co-wrote 5 songs out of 10, and it's more of a Latin funk type of album. And that producer is Chili Willy Groove. So it's
Now,
kind of like in a similar vein, some of them,
yes.
but they are kind of different, and they're all original music. It's all original.
Okay. Now, I got a chance to check out your music video on YouTube, Chill Room Havana. Who directed the music video, and what was the behind the scenes of that music video?
Chill Room Havana. So I came up with the idea. I sketched out what kind of scenes that I wanted. I had that whole sheet together, you know, what I wanted to portray, the costuming, the people, the areas of the home. And that home had a lot of artifacts from Cuba. So it was perfect to just have it right there. And it was just getting that flair about, you know, the little elements and nuances of things from Cuba, and the feel of being in Cuba, or just being in, you know, a tropical place, if you will. And then you have folks, they dress a certain way, and, you know, serving the coffee, you know, loving to dance, you know, it's had a little different elements in there. But it's, you know, talking about the cohiba, the cigar, and mojita, and, you know, blackjack, you know. So it was just a song that I wanted to have a fun feel to it, if you will. You can check out any time you please, but you can never leave.
Now, let's talk about your participation in the Platters experience. I got a chance to see some of it on YouTube as well. Is that kind of like similar to the group that I knew back then, the Platters, or this is like the Platters Review?
So the group is called the Platters Experience, and so the lead singer and lead band member is Kevin Carroll Sr., and we also have Alfonso Boyd and Evans. I can't. I just lost his first name. Evans, who's also a singer in there, and they're called the Platters Experience. And Kevin is a lineage of the family, meaning he knew the Platters and the extension of the Platters, and but they changed the name. They added experience on there. And it is authentically, when we do sing the songs, they are like the Platters style, and we do the harmonies, and some of the harmonies are a little different. But in our show, we also sing Motown. And for some of our upcoming events abroad, we are also putting in more pop songs, because we have some club events we're going to be doing. So they said, "Oh, you guys do some pop?" And we said, "Oh, of course we do." So as professionals, you know, we can do that. And again, putting the harmony in those pop songs too. Just songs that people love.
Now, you talked about earlier about your book, Chill Room Havana, which is based on your song and was inspired by your mother. Please share with our audience on what that book is about. And I just saw that cover.
Yeah. I just shared it. It's, you know, there's different kind of stories in here. So, if example, I have some stories in here about history. So Jose Marti, who was from Cuba, he was a poet, a soldier, a writer. I mean, his statue is in Echo Park in Los Angeles. His statue is in Cuba, Havana, on a square somewhere. And I've known about him from a long time ago. He's born in the mid 1800s, and he's written some beautiful poetry that has been translated into English. So I write about him. In one of his stanzas is the story of Guantanamera. So somebody snatched that stanza and made the song, recorded the song Guantanamera, but that the phrasings and the story of it comes from Jose Marti. So I talk about Jose Marti, sort of like in a political sense, such as who is the real Jose Marti, Cuban revolutionary hero or posthumous traitor, and I go into both sides of it. And then I also talk about the Catalonians in Barcelona. I went there in 2003, and I was on the square, and unbeknownst to me, I was in the midst of the people there getting ready for a revolution. And that's protesting the next day to break away from Spain. So I write about that. I write about love stories. I write about my mom, my uncle, who taught me salsa. It's called Tio's Salsa Boots. And I just kind of describe how he was teaching me as a youngster and encouraged me how to dance salsa style. And but all the stories, like I said, are in rhythmic form, and they're short stories. So they're a lot of fun. It's good reading for those people that like to read. They would enjoy the stories. And I got 5 stars on Amazon, which I was very happy about. But the feedback I get is, we really like the stories, and people tell me which stories they like the best.
Okay. Now, during the years, you have won 3 awards. You have won the We Love Rare Groove Awards, the Entertainment 2024 Award, the Jazz Living Legend in the City of LA, and the LA Black Music People's Choice Awards. Share with our audience on what those awards that, I don't know if it was for best vocals or best entertainer.
They were just honoring me. Just honoring Elisa Gomez Taylor, and they honored other artists as well. And it was really wonderful because I've been doing this. I have been singing and writing for over 30 years. And I've performed at many places outside of the United States, even years ago. And I, worked with a lot of incredible people. So there are some folks that know who I am, and there's so much more that don't, and hopefully more people will get to know me. So it's just a recognition, that's all it is, and it means a lot to me. So I don't think they were just trying to pinpoint, you're best at this, you're good at that, you're good at that. It's no, this is Elisa Gomez Taylor. She's been doing this work for a long time, and we want to honor her. That's all.
Well, congratulations on those award accolades.
Thank you. I mean, I don't seek out to get awards, but it is nice to be recognized. It's like people are paying attention. At least the folks in the industry are paying attention. And I like it when I'm talking to people in the industry who are much on the higher rank than I am, and they say, "Oh, I know who you are." I mean, that's like, okay, they're paying attention because they're also looking at who else is doing things, whether it's on their level or not on their level. They're watching people that are consistent, and I think that's what's important as artists, that we are consistent and true to who we are.
Now, who were some of the artists that you had a chance to tour with or to perform with?
I perform with a whole lot of people. So, for example, I performed with Paul McDonald. He has a 18-piece big band, and I've worked with him when I've had some private events. And I say, "Hey, Paul, I'd love for you to come perform with me." And he plays keyboards and piano. He's phenomenal. And he did. And let's see, Diane Santa Maria, who plays violin, Hubert Laws, I had an opportunity to, sing with him playing, who's amazing. Stefan Oberhoff, Richie Gahati Garcia, who played with Phil Collins, and so forth. There's just so many people, and most of these folks, if not all of them, have played with the who's who in the world. And when they come home to Los Angeles or they're in Los Angeles, they want to keep playing. So if I call someone and say, hey, I have something coming up, are you available? And if they're available and so forth, we work everything out. I get to play with them, and I'm just very honored. Oscar Hernandez, I had an opportunity to work with him. He's a multi-Grammy winner. And a lot of them are Grammy nominees, Grammy winners, and if not, they're just phenomenal musicians. I don't care what they have tagged on the back of their name, but they're just great musicians.
Now, here's a question that I always ask my guests. Living or dead, which artist that you wish you wanted to meet or to perform with?
I would have loved to meet, and there's probably quite a few of them. I would have loved to have met Celia Cruz and actually perform with her. Probably me singing in English. I would have loved to have met Nina Simone, but as soon as I moved to California, she passed away that first month or two, and so did Tito Puente Jr. But I've met Tito Puente, Senior. Senior had passed away, but I've met Tito Puente Jr. several times. He's phenomenal. He's such a lovely person. Let's see. I would have loved to have met Sarah Vaughan. Lena Horne. I didn't get a chance to meet Lena while she was living. Both of us were living, but I would have loved to just kind of pick her brain about the industry and her experience, and also Eartha Kitt. I was just always mesmerized by Eartha Kitt. So there's a lot, It's just like I said, I don't pick just one thing because that's not my experience. My experience is broad, and I take and I learn from different great artists, people. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, here on the Black Soul Music Experience, I always ask my guests, who are the top 10 R&B black artists of all time? Now, since I have you, Elisa, you'll have to forgive me, Elmo. I'm
no, you said it right. Uh-huh.
So we're going to be doing the Black Soul Music Experience top 10 pop and R&B and jazz artists of all time. Now, here's how it works. We do it like a top 10 countdown, like the show America's Top 10, hosted by the late Casey Kasem. We start at the bottom 5 and we find out who was the best singer but didn't get any recognition. When we get to the top 5, then we find out who was the best singer with the best million-selling albums ever. Did that artist receive a gold or a platinum or double platinum or triple platinum or today's diamond platinum? Did that artist had received some top 10 number 1 hits? Did that artist receive a Grammy or an American Music Award or a BET Award or an MTV VMA Award or a Soul Train Award? Did that artist got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Did that artist perform on American Bandstand or Soul Train or the Midnight Special or NBC's Saturday Night Live or Solid Gold? Or did that artist have their primetime special on CBS or NBC or ABC?
Am I supposed to guess this? Am I supposed to guess this?
Well, yeah, but let me finish and I'll have you put your thinking cap on. Did that artist perform on PBS, whether it's great performances, or they had that special during Pledge Month? Or, yes, whether they had that live special on HBO or Showtime. So that's why I always ask my guests who is the best top 10 artists.
Okay, so let's get going. Let's get going with this.
Okay. All right. Let's start at number 10. Who should be at number 10?
Number 10. Number 10 for what? First.
Yes, for the R&B black pop artist of all time.
Okay, I'm not going to cheat because you know I can just quickly just look it up on my computer. Top 10. I don't know, Maxwell?
Yes, Maxwell. We'll put Maxwell there.
I love
The
him.
beginning
I
of
would
Knee.
love to, I would love to sing with some Maxwell.
Started with the neo soul back in the mid 90s, came on the scene in 1996 with his debut LP, Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite, with his debut song Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder, with his follow up hit Something Something. He had a couple of LPs in the later
Yeah.
2000s, but
So
nothing
who
couldn't
else? Who else? Who
compare.
else? Who else can we
Nothing
name?
couldn't compare that sound of Maxwell.
Uh-huh.
All right, number 9.
I don't know. This guy might be a little bit higher. John Legend?
John Legend. Okay, we'll put John Legend right there. He started out back in the late 2000s and just had their debut song Ordinary People, and he had some other songs, and some of the other
Okay, and then
songs
let's
include,
see who else. Usher?
yes.
Usher?
Yes, Usher, number 8. Usher, still performing. Started out in 1993, still performing today. Top 10 selling
Okay,
hits. We'll
cool.
put Usher
Okay,
at number
I got
8.
another one, Bruno Mars. I would love, but I would just love to watch Bruno Mars. Yes, I would love to sing with him. I just love to watch Bruno Mars.
Yes, Bruno Mars came on the scene in the mid 2010s. Started out in pop, but then in 2016 he started getting a little funky.
Oh, he
So
went to
when I
old
saw
school.
his
He did
video,
it
when
phenomenally. He was just great.
yes, when they started out with 24 karat gold, I was like, he getting a little funky now. So he had
Okay.
started out with pop and then started getting a little funky. So we'll put
How about
Bruno Mars at number 7.
okay? How about John Batista?
John Batista. Okay. I knew him from The Late Show, starring Stephen Colbert, one of the band leaders and
Oh,
everything.
he's won some
And
awards. He's gone beyond that, way beyond that. So yeah, he's phenomenal.
okay, so we'll put John Batista at number 6.
Okay.
Okay, up to
So
number
Mariah Carey,
5.
where's Mariah Carey in all of this?
Okay, we'll put her at number 3. So she had some million-selling hits. Started out in 1990 with Vision of Love, and the hits just keep on coming. So we'll put Mariah Carey at number 3. So let's put in something at number 5.
B. Cardi.
Cardi B.
Yeah, Cardi
Okay.
B. Uh-huh.
One of the love and hip hop alums, and started out with her songs. I'm like, you just can't keep up with her. And mixture with press, money, everything.
I'm
So
trying to think of one of my other favorites. Her name is on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of her name. She's on the tip of. She always wear those boots. Not okay. Beyonce. We got to put Beyonce. Got to put Bey in there.
Okay, Beyonce at number 4.
I love
Started out
Beyonce.
started out with Destiny's Child and then went on her own. Had some top 10 hits, and her latest country album, Cowboy
Right.
Carter, Texas Hold'em. I mean, Beyonce is crossing all genres: R&B, hip hop, and country.
Flawlessly.
Yes,
Flawless.
so we're gonna put Houston's own Beyonce at
Yeah.
number 4.
Okay.
Now,
so
number
I, don't,
3,
I can't think of the name of the lady that the incredible artist that. Gosh, I can't think of her name. Can I cheat? Can I cheat? Okay, so let's just keep going. That's all I can think of right now.
Okay, well, we just put Mariah Carey at number 3, so we're
Beautiful.
safe. So
That's
we're up to number 2.
Okay, I can't think of any more right now.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll put in
That
a
was
couple.
fun. That was fun while it lasted.
Oh, okay. I'll put in the last 2.
Okay.
And okay, I'll at number 2. I'm going to put down Aretha Franklin, the
Of
Queen
course.
of Soul,
Of
Aretha
course.
Franklin, Grammy Award winner, American Music Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee for the class of 1987, and Kennedy Center
Okay, then we can put
honoree
Patti
for
LaBelle in there. Okay,
1994.
we can
Yes,
put Patti LaBelle.
yes. Well,
I thought you were looking for more of the current younger folks, like in their 30s, 40s. That's what I thought. I'm sorry, my bad. But yeah,
oh,
so
we got a mix, so we'll put
yeah,
Patti LaBelle at number
I love
one.
Patti LaBelle. I always said if I come back, I want to sound like Patti LaBelle and Mark Anthony. The way that they sing, just singing.
Oh yeah.
Just their singing. I don't mean anything else, screaming or anything. Not that. I'm talking about just singing. Patti
Oh
LaBelle
yes.
and Mark Anthony.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go. What you got next?
Okay, we're up to number one already. That's the top 10.
Okay.
So if you want to put a bonus one, you can put a little bonus in the mix.
Oh, Anita Baker.
Yes, we'll put Anita Baker in.
Love
Started out,
her.
yes, had some hits back in the 80s. She can sing soul, she can sing jazz, and she can sing all of that. So we'll
All of
put
that. All
Anita
of that.
Baker as a bonus
Okay. Let's do that.
honoree as well.
All right. What's next?
So, who's next? Um, let's put Stevie Wonder in there.
Okay, Stevie
Stevie
Wonder. Yeah.
Stevie Wonder started out at age 12, had some number one hits back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Grammy Award winner, American Music Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee for the class of 1989, Kennedy Center honoree for the class of 1999, and an Oscar winner, too.
Absolutely.
So
He is. He is.
you have to give it
Yeah.
up to the
I
Wonder
think we're doing a
Man.
couple of his songs with the Platters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, alrighty. So, we
This has
got
been
our.
fun. Thank you.
Yes. It's been a pleasure talking with you on the Black Soul Music Experience. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be with me. And
Sure.
continued success on your endeavors. And like I said, we're looking forward to seeing some more
Yeah,
music
I'd love to tell
videos.
you where your audience can find me, though.
Yes, I was going to get to that. Where can we follow you for any upcoming events? Where can we follow you on social media?
Absolutely.
And
You can follow me
give
on
us a
all
quick plug.
social media. Just follow me, Elisa Gomez Taylor. No one has my name. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Instagram, of course. And I usually we have posters out when we are going to be performing. So I'll let you know when some things are coming up. And I just so appreciate you, Sam. Thank you so much. It's been an honor just to meet you and just to talk with you here. And thank you to your audience. And yes, we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. You know, that's part of my heritage. And so not only black music, but, Afro-Cuban music, which is also part of black music. Maybe I can come back and talk more about that side, part of who I am. But yes, please follow me on Instagram, Facebook for upcoming events. And thank you so much for your support. And many blessings to you, Sam.
Okay. Download all the artists that we have talked about on this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Visit iTunes.com, Spotify.com, or purchase a CD at Amazon.com. Make sure you follow Elisa Gomez Taylor. Look for her on Facebook, Instagram /Elisa Gomez Taylor Music. Check out her music on Spotify. Check out her music videos on YouTube. Follow her on TikTok.
And my
And
website. I do have a website.
yes.
ElisaGomezTaylor.com. Muchas gracias.
Oh, you're welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out this episode, please subscribe by going to the link. The link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel-Wilson Jr.'s. Don't forget to add the S at the end, -studio. And yes, I will be posting this episode on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you have a hard time getting on to riverside.fm, then please become a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Log on to Patreon, just put in your email and your password, where you see all of the podcast shows from different creators. Make sure you go on to the top and type in the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, where you check out all of my audio podcast episodes and video podcast clips that you may have missed. And if you have a hard time getting on to Patreon, then I will be posting this episode on YouTube. Make sure you go to youtube.com, go to the YouTube homepage, and type in the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. If you love this episode, if you love my podcast, please subscribe, please support, please give me a thumbs up, please leave a comment, and please pass it on. Thank you for joining me as I close out this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience. Well, that's about it for this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. I'm Sam Wilson Jr. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week for an all-new episode. The Black Soul Music Experience Podcast is sponsored by the support of listeners and viewers like you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe by going to riverside.fm/studio/Samuel-Wilson Jr.'s-studio. And don't forget to check out my audio and video podcast episodes by becoming a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And also check out my video podcast episodes by subscribing to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And please leave your comments, feedbacks, and replies by going to my Facebook homepage. Visit facebook.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. You can also tweet me on X, aka Twitter, at Sam Wilson Jr. 66. As always, partying, remember this: reach for the top and your dreams will come true, and it can happen to you. From all of us, take care. God bless. Thanks for listening. Have a good week, and please be safe.